shake hands on a draw here with the reigning champion Surrey. Overall, before we touch on the individual performances, that we'll be very happy to discuss, a great team performance overall and a great fight.
Yeah, it was a really good performance actually, because we were competitive in every session of the game. So, you know, we're always saying to the lads, it's a 12-session game, 4-day cricket. And you've got to be up for everyone. You can't have a session off. Certainly against a team like Surrey, you can't. I thought we did that. I thought it was great to watch. Right at the end, Haseeb and Ben Slater play so well to take his home on down. Would have been a great 5-day test actually. I think if it had more time in it, because the pitch was turning and the game had sort of gone a bit to and fro. But yeah, it was a really good effort, especially after losing the toss.
And, you know, reflecting on what happened at Durham last week, you know, a similar situation in terms of the score that they posted. But, you know, it felt like, you know, that a few lessons were learned from last week, would you say?
Yeah, we were so disappointed last week because that was our worst performance of the season in 4-day cricket. We'd actually played the batters have performed okay actually. Certainly the first part, but that was the 3rd innings in a row. I think we'd been beaten on first innings, so we had to get it right. We had to change it round. Credit to how the batters played. But they fronted up on what was the pitch changed as the game went on. It started off very flat with a little bit of turn, and you had to bowl very tight and be patient. And then as the game wore on, with it being a used surface, it just turned more and more. And credit to the way really our lads bowled on it, certainly the spinners, and how they managed to create pressure over the course of the 4 days. And
you know, regardless of opposition that we're up against, you know, how important was it to immediately respond to that result last week with a positive performance that everyone can be really proud of?
Well, I think when you look at the table, you've got to start playing now. So I think we know it's really important for us to come out of this game with minimum of a draw. I think there's a good result for us really when you look at the table. We go to another tough game now away from home against Essex. And you know, we look forward to that contest. You know, we'll take a lot of confidence from this performance. You know, quite a lot of lads getting runs. They'll take that into the next game. And also, as I say, seamers have had a tough shift over the last 4 days, but certainly for Farhan and for Liam Patterson-White and Freddie McCann actually in the first innings, as 3 spinners, they can also take a lot from the game.
There's a lot to unpack in terms of individual performances. We'll start with Farhan, of course. Records galore being broken all over the place. How pleased are you, first and foremost, for how he's started so strongly on the right foot?
Yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable debut. I think I've watched an awful lot of cricket, and I've shown a lot of members have, but that to the way it wasn't just he got 10 for. I think it's a record for an Englishman in first class cricket in England, but that only tells part of the story really. The intensity and the sort of, he bowled his first ball and his last ball as though his life depended on it. I think he always does that in practice. We've watched him for a long time do that, and to watch him put that into a first-class field against some really good players, against a really good team, and hold the rate and hold the game, and in many ways be a leading light within the bowling attack for 4 days, is so much credit to him and how he went about it. And it's also a lot of credit, I want to give a lot of credit really to our pathway really, he'll have been touched by a lot of coaches over the years, so we're not stood here trying to take all the credit for that. Farhan takes the credit, but Matt Wood and his team in our academy and pathway set up, they'll all have worked with Farhan over the years, and also a lot of junior coaches. You know, I think Bill Almanson, Jacko, but a lot of people have been influential in his development. And today he got a stage, or the next 4 days he got a stage where he could show everybody what he's got, and he certainly arrived.
And Surrey's first innings, he bowled 50 overs. I mean, for a 16-year-old, that's really some shift, isn't it? And you know, doesn't that show the confidence that the team had in him to keep going out there and performing with the ball?
Well, the confidence I think everybody had in him was getting picked in the first place. I think to play against Surrey at Trent Bridge in what was a really big game in the way the season's set up. So getting selected at 16 was the first compliment you get, but realistically, I think everybody knew that he was being selected for a reason. We felt he was going to influence the game. Now, you get to 50 overs in an innings because you've bowled exceptionally well. You can't. So he's managed to hold the rate. I think his combined figures are 76 overs, 10 for 213. He's taking his wickets at 21 and a bit on a pitch where 525 was scored first innings. So just exceptional, really, how he did it for such a long period of time. The quality of the ball, but the focus he showed, the stamina in some ways he showed to do that. it puts him in a great place to move forward. He's excited about it, of course he is, but he loves the game. So if he keeps that for the rest of his career, he's going to have a great time.
And brilliantly supported as well at the other end by Liam Patterson-White. He took that fantastic five-fer. I suppose unlucky in a way to have his performance overshadowed by Farhan there, but a fantastic input from Liam as well.
Yeah, he bowled much better than he's won for in the first innings, actually. I'm really pleased he got 5 wickets in the second innings because he bowled well first innings. Well, he bowled really well first innings. And they looked a good pair in tandem. I'm pleased for Liam because he's been through a bit of a journey. A couple of years ago he had a really outstanding season. He's been a bit up and down, and I think he'd say he's learned some lessons about how he's gone about his cricket. He's starting to get his head down and do his work again, which is great. Starting to come out in the games. I think generally how he bowled this game and the sort of quality of what he delivered was great. I think with the bat, we know he's got a lot of potential with the bat, and I think hopefully we can start to see that come through as well. We've certainly seen it in the T20 space over this season. He's a really exciting cricketer. We're very blessed, I think, on the spin bowling front with Calvin, Liam, Farhan, and also Fateh, who did brilliantly on loan when he was at Worcester.
And on to Freddie. I mean, what an innings from Freddie McCann. He doesn't really bat like a 19-year-old, does he?
Well, again, it was an innings of maturity. This idea that where you're standing at your maturity as a player, it's not a number. It's not the age you are. It's how you play. And Freddie played like a bloke who'd played the game for far longer than his second game. Took the pressure. Certainly, second morning they bowled really well. He was on about 69, I think, overnight. They bowled really well at him, so he didn't score very quickly for 5-6 overs. Hung in there, just took his time, then built his innings. And then we started to see him really start to strut his stuff a little bit after he got to his 100, played some really good shots. And, the hunger to go big as a player, as a young player, is really, really important. That, you're not happy with 100, you went on and got a big score, which is really influential for the team and where we were in the game. So, yeah, really pleased for him.
And do you think he got some really good support out there, from the experience of Haseeb, Hameed and Jack Haynes as well, on his way to his 100?
Yeah, Jack's played well. Nice to back up that innings really with the one he played at Durham. Jack's he'll be desperate to take one of those innings and go on and get a really big score. Of course he will. But he started to show good maturity again there. Nice and relaxed how he went about it. And him and Freddie built a key partnership for us at what was quite a pressurised time in the game, because if they got another couple there, we'd have been under real pressure. And Haas looks a really good player. He looks a really good player all season, hence why he's got the runs. And I think the quality of the partnership in the second innings between Haas and Benny Slater was not an easy pitch at that point, was testament to the quality of them as players.
And can't forget about Rob Lord as well. A first-class debut for Rob. Maybe not as involved in the latter stages of the game as he might have wanted, but again, shows the progression that he's had since he's arrived here.
Yeah, he's moved so quick. I think in some ways it's good he's not had time to think about it. Debuting in the 50, becoming our leading wicket taker in that, and then obviously getting his first class debut. I think you probably assess Rob by his first spell. The pressure's on for a bowler. It's different sort of pressure for a bowler when you stand at the back of the mark and you've got to start running at the start of a championship game on your debut. I think his 7 overs were 1 for 11 his first spell, and it set the tone for us really in the game. No seamer in the game bowled any better than he did. Wickets were really hard to come by for seam, so I think he takes a huge amount from it. In some ways, we often play on different sort of pitches, but he's already shown he can play on different sort of pitches as we went through the 50-over cricket. So excited for him. He's got the debut in some ways out of the way. We look forward to what else he can bring.
And on to Chelmsford, going on the right foot there, and some confidence from a lot of good things that have come from this game.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're starting to get some bowling stocks back a bit with Luke Fletcher fit, Brett Hutton fit, and obviously Rob Lord coming back in. Great to see Ollie Stone actually playing so well for England today. So, yeah, I think as a squad we're excited. I thought generally Kyle Verreynne as well played very well in this game. Was great to see. So generally we looked a good team this game. So we need to hold that. The lads get a couple of days just to off, and then we come to train the back end of the week because obviously we miss out on the quarter-finals of the T20. And then we get to Essex, and we know that's a really big game for us and the club and the position in the league.
I'll touch on Kyle as well. 50 on his debut and looked very astute behind the stumps as well. Just touch on, what he adds to the team for the couple of games that he still has with us.
Yeah, he gave us really good stability when he came in. That's the first innings. Didn't get a chance second innings to bat. Kept really nicely. He's calm. He's a calm individual. Slipped into the side really well, and just moulded him beautifully. So great that he settled so fast. And we need him to play well at Essex as well. We need everybody to play well at Essex. And then obviously we lose him for this game at Kent and obviously back for the last game. But yeah, really promising, really, how he's gelled into the side so quickly.